Okay, evening everyone. Dr. Freedom here with you. Time for some Doctor Who news. News from in and around the universe that may or may not affect you in some way. We just don't know how. But some interesting weird stuff coming up. Now this episode is going to get a bit spoilery because there's a lot of crazy spoiler rich information that's being dropped. Some people will consider it to be, spoiler rich. I consider it to be mild, but I'm going to put a warning here just, that way you don't freak out. Also, I've been noticing there's a couple of guys who've gotten screener copies all the way up to Woman Who Lived are now running around bragging about what, the episodes and whatnot. Keep doing that, guys, because they've been cracking down on leaks and such as that lately. And all you're doing is basically saying, oops, guess what? You're not going to get a screener copy again should you continue on the path you are. And like I said, I had some people feeding me info and all that. And guess what? They stopped when a couple weeks ago somebody was on Gallifrey base mouthing off about an entire episode. It's like, thanks. You've cost a lot of us guys out here some very valuable information and sources. Now, the main reason I was having access to this information was because this way, when somebody tried to, cough up some BS my way, I knew it was BS. And I could say, okay, turn around. Don't please quit trying to feed me crap on it, in advance on an episode. But that's what happens. You got to be very careful with what sources you do have, because a slip of the lip can cost you some, major, beneficial information in the future. But okay, now that I got all that crap off my chest, let's get right to the news, shall we? All right, first up off the bat, and this has got some weirdness attached to it. More details on episodes 5 through 8 of Series 9. They're mainly getting this from Doctor Who Magazine 492, which came out today. And we're going to go into that just a wee bit in a minute. Okay, latest issue of Doctor Magazine 492 contains details on the next 4 episodes of Series 9, and here are the highlights. And I even warn you here, this could be only mildly spoilery, but like I said, the reason why is there's a lot of people out here who don't want to be spoiled at all. So that's why I'm giving you a warning. And right here, once again, you get a synopsis for this week's episode, Girl Who Died, and they even give you a quote, Woman Who Lived, and once again, quote, synopsis. Really interesting exchange here. And even throw some other interesting bits in there should you want it. But this is the part that's weirded me out. Apparently, from the way they're making this sound, from what I've read, Osgood return is so key. It becomes tricky to discuss her without spoiling, but it's not as simple as her being a Zygon. Please do not tell me that once again we've bent over backwards to bring back another modern era character. Because you see, it raises my ire just a wee bit, because here's a sideline character that just because they got some really popular votes in like a fandom poll or something, next thing you know, boom, they're getting revived every season, other season. And meanwhile, we've got so many classic companions out there who we have not seen in years that I would love to see back. Matter of fact, Sarah Jane Smith in Series 2 is still currently the only classic companion to get a return in the new series. Now, yeah, there were some very interesting stuff going on over on the Sarah Jane Adventures, but that's not the main show. And like I said, I'd love to see Sophie Aldred back as Ace. I'd love to see Nicola Bryant back as Perry, just to say, hey, here we are. Let's do this before it's too late. Not to mention a lot of mentions about Ian Chesterton, played by William Russell. Sorry, Chesterton. I almost said Chatterfield, but okay. Or Chatterton, whatever it was. All right. But you see what I mean? He's in his 90s now, and they keep showing Coal Hill School, and he's never there. And there's a lot of fans who are complaining about that. It could just be a matter of his personal health or anything like that, but I would love to have seen him even in a short scene back in the 50th anniversary year. But like I said, it just doesn't seem to be on the agenda. So for a lot of folks out there, I need a classic fan return. I'm not even seeing a classic companion return anytime soon. They've just been avoiding it like the plague. But classic companion returns have scored ratings. Look at what it did with School Reunion with Sarah Jane Smith, played by Liz Sladen. It even spawned a spinoff that was very, very entertaining. Meanwhile, we're getting a spinoff this year we don't know nothing about yet, but it's kind of weirding me out how much it sounds like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But okay, let's get off this. Let's get out of the news. So if you want some, like I said, it's nothing heavily spoilery, but still, you may want to avoid this one, if you want to remain unspoiled. Sorry, I'm in a bit of a gripey mood tonight, but I keep saying Osgood. And I'm like, it's not that I have nothing against the character. It's the fact this is a character who is a side character who's now getting a return. It just irks me a wee bit, But that's my opinion, okay? I'm not saying everybody has that opinion. It's just me. All right, Doctor Who Magazine 492, of course, it came out, looks ahead to the return of Doctor's most popular monsters. Yeah, the Zygons, back in the Zygon invasion, Zygon inversion. Yeah, the Zygons who were made in a total mockery not too long ago. But all right, that's just my opinion. All right, don't sweat it. That's me. Sorry, I'm a little bit grouchy today. I had some weird stuff going on. Okay, Peter Hartness had to say this. He tells the magazine there was a certain amount of fan outrage when Death in Heaven saw the apparent death of Osgood. Ingrid Oliver's character was an instant hit on her first appearance in Day of the Doctor, or Era of the Zygons, they call it. While there may not have been questions asked in Parliament about her death, there were definitely some furious tweets on the subject, but now she's back. Yeah, and I can't wait to see how they do that. And of course, the Zygons are back too. I'll leave the rest of that for you. And also, here's everything that's in this particular issue if you want to go take a look through it. And of course, it was out today, price £4.99. Okay. All right. This is another clip from The Girl Who Died coming up this weekend. If you want to watch it, it's just under a minute long. And there's nothing in the plot revealing or anything like that, other than, well, I'll leave it for you to watch, should you choose. Okay, now this is definitely a spoiler. The Zygon invasion synopsis. Get ready for this. The Zygons, a race of shape-shifting aliens, have been living in secret among us on Earth, unknown and unseen, until now. When Osgood is kidnapped by a rogue gang of Zygons, the Dr. Clarion unit must scatter across the world in a bid to set her free. But will they reach her in time, and can they stop an uprising before it's too late? Now, this is the one that features the return of Ingrid Oliver, and also this has guest star Rebecca Front. And of course, we already discussed yesterday, who she's playing. So this will be out on Halloween, as a matter of fact, the Zygon invasion. So moving on. Okay, now this one I threw in for fun. This is a guy who built his own K9 and he used a Raspberry Pi system for the operating system on it. So it's just very amusing. There's even a nice little, videos to go with it. And a lot of you folks remember K9 from the classic series, and he also returned in School Reunion. So, and he was also in the Sarah Jane Adventures for a time. Well, on and off. They had some debates over the rights. So that's why he had to disappear for a while. Okay. Mark Gatiss, male companion in Doctor Who would be very interesting. He said it would be interesting if the Doctor had a male companion, but then it would be a very male show. He said he'd be delighted if the Doctor became a woman in the future. He goes, I think the dynamic would be really interesting. It would be great. Doctor Who is always driven on change. All you need is a fantastic actor for the part, but I hope Peter Capaldi stays for a very long time because he's great. He goes, I think he's grown into it, and which is always what happens. I love the way people responded to this series, and I love the two-parters as well. So that's just a quick little thing from Mark Gatiss. Now, I'm sorry if I'm sounding bitter on this. It's just, come on, we've had River Song come back. We had Rory killed and come back how many times? Well, we got Osgood, who is supposed to be a side character, popping back up and is going to now be a major integral part of a plot. And I think both parts of the Zygon invasion, Zygon inversion, yet we have not had a classic companion return since 2006, if I remember correctly. And that was School Reunion in Series 2. So why can't we have a companion? Come on, it's been going on 8 years. Actually, wait a minute. Sorry, going on 9 years close to it, that we've had a classic companion from the original series just pop up. And I just think, what would be the harm? They were going to bring back Ace and Sarah Jane Adventures. They had already brought back Katie Manning as Jo Grant. They had already, they already had Nick Courtney as the Brigadier, and they were also talking Doctor returns. Tom Baker said he was talking about doing it, and Sylvester McCoy was talking about doing it. And companion returns always equaled big ratings, especially on Sarah Jane when they had Jo Manning back. Jo Grant, who played by Katie Manning. Duh. So that's just my gripe. Like I said, I'm going to enjoy the episodes. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to sit back and watch them, but I can't help but think, we had Ace, who didn't get a proper departure because she was the last companion of the classic series when the series ended, and yet we don't know what happened to her. 1996 movie happened, and there's the Seventh Doctor, no Ace. But, we hear a lot about Ace in Big Finish audio, which is good, but I'd love to see her back on screen one more time. That's just me. But okay, until next time, I'll be in a better mood. Don't worry. It's just I had some bureaucratic crap going on at work that's driving me. So take care, ta-ta. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Night, folks.